Greed.
Ubisoft must have heard William Spivey talk about where are all the black people in Shogun, and they said, "Don't worry, fam, we got you." So what is up, YouTube? My name is Mario, aka the real Super Mario. Check out the main channel because the main channel is popping, aka the Loot Box Hero, aka YouTube's greatest fat man here, bringing you another video. Alright, so we have to go back to Japan because for some reason niggas in Japan just seem to keep coming up in the news for some reason. You know what I'm saying? I blame Johnny Somali.
Why you do this? Pearl Harbor? Hiroshima, Nagasaki!
Ubisoft announced a couple of weeks ago their brand new game, Assassin's Creed Red, aka Assassin's Creed Shadows. And they of course showed a trailer, a nice little CG trailer off. So far it looks kind of like a banger. Main character is a Kunoichi by the name of Naoe and Yauske, the one historical black man in all Japan. And of course, everybody had totally stable and not insane, unhinged takes about this at all. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the questions that you might have about this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, was Yauske real? Was he a samurai? Was he gay? Because that's a question that we got some kind of way. Why is this strange for Assassin's Creed? And is this woke, or are people just being racist? So, of course, you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, do all that good stuff that YouTube requires you to do to continue getting videos from me. Follow me at twitter.com/RSMario128. Like the video, tweet, share the video, tweet now, shout you out at this portion of the video. All right. So, Yauske is the main character, or one of the main characters in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and he was a real person. More than likely, he was born in East Africa, more than likely Mozambique, and he was part of the under-talked about side of the slave trade, the other side of the slave trade. Because see, when everybody talks about the slave trade, they always talk about the transatlantic slave trade. They never talk about the slave trade that went into Asia. But he was part of that part of the slave trade where they would take slaves into Asia. And he was taken on a trip by a bunch of Portuguese Jesuits to Japan because they were establishing trade relations in Japan, because that was the big thing. It was a battle between, the big European powers to see if they can get trade relations and colonies all around the world. And one of the things they did to ingratiate themselves to Oda Nobunaga was they gave him one of their slaves, being Yauske. All right, and Yauske is pretty much well documented as the first black person in Japan. And no, black people were not making huts outside of Osaka 22,000 years ago. And no, Sakanue Tomarumo was not black, because guess what? If this was all true, this like weird Afrocentrist version of history were true, then they wouldn't have watched Yauske when he first got there, because they didn't understand that he was black. Alright, that was one of the things about the Yauske story that, everybody seems to kind of agree on, that he was the first black guy. It's just that you get like Afrocentrists like William Spivey who, seem to disagree for reasons. So after this, he would be made a retainer of Oda Nobunaga, he was the shogun of Japan at that time period. And so he was made a retainer. Now, this has been a point of contention for a lot of people. A lot of people say, oh, well, he was just a retainer. He was just a servant. He was just a sword bearer, a sword carrier. He wasn't actually a samurai. So he didn't actually do all the samurai things. There's actually one person, and I can't remember which content creator it was, but somebody literally said that Oda used to take Yauske around as an oddity because he was a big black man. And I'm just like, I don't remember reading any of that in the histories about Yauske All right, maybe that's part of that deep history that they don't talk about. Maybe that's part of the history the deep state is hiding from us. You know what I'm saying? But no, like, yeah, he was a retainer of Oda Nobunaga, but so was every other samurai that was loyal to the Nobunaga shogunate. Samurai were the hereditary military nobility and officer caste of medieval and early modern Japan, from late 12th century until their abolition in the late 1870s during the Meiji era, aka the Meiji Restoration, which is what most samurai movies and samurai anime are based around. They were the well-paid retainers of the daimyo, the great feudal landholders. They had high prestige and special privileges. So yes, they all were retainers. The greatest samurais ever were retainers, okay? All right, so he might not have been a samurai in like proper name and title, you know what I'm saying? But for all intents and purposes, he was a samurai. He was a retainer. He was part of Oda's retinue, which more than likely means he was a bodyguard, which more than likely means he was trained in the sword arts. They said he carried the short sword. And guess what? Do you know what type of armor that retainers wore?
Nice.
Looks like samurai armor to me. So, yeah, I mean, he might not have been a samurai in name, but he was, for the most part, was a samurai.
That nigga gay.
So this is probably one of the weirdest parts of this video that I had to do research for, because a couple days ago, or about a week ago at this point, randomly, you know, it popped up that Ubisoft appears to confirm Assassin's Creed Shadows protagonist Yauske and Naoe are LGBTQ+, from John Trent. And so then, of course, I go and check it out, and I'm like, oh, it's that Park place, aka the best source of yellow journalism this side of the culture war. So let's check this out. Maybe they're on to something, because sometimes, you know, they're on to something, you know. A blog post on the company's website published on May 15th, the company declared Naoe and Yasuke's desperate personalities also lead them into different relationships and rapports with other characters. And they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people feel the same way about them. So far, no gay. All right. So far, what they're saying here is that Naoe and Yauske will have different interactions with different characters. And I mean, of course they will, because, you know, Yauske essentially is a government operative. All right. He's an op. Okay. He worked for the feds, essentially. All right. So, of course, there are going to be people that work with Yauske, and there are going to be some people that don't work with Yauske. There are going to be some people that Yauske will never meet in the story, and there are some people that he's probably going to have to kill in the story. You know what I'm saying? That Naoe won't, because Naoe is a kunoichi, aka a ninja. More than likely, what she's doing is very illegal. All right, so she's not going to be working with some of the official sources that Yauske is going to be working with. All right, some of the people that, you know, Yauske works with are probably going to try to kill Naoe because she's a ninja. She assassinates people. You know what I'm saying? So yes, they're going to have different interactions with different characters. So far, no gay. Next, they discuss the romance options. Oh, okay, so this is probably where the gay comes in, right? Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will experience a multitude of relationships. Okay, so far, no gay. So far, this doesn't really confirm anything about them being gay. It doesn't even mention LGBTQ in any part of this. And this is the blog post from Ubisoft itself. But this is where the plot thickens just a little bit. This revelation comes amid Ubisoft contracting Dartmouth professor Sachi Schmidt-Hori. Sachi is an LGBTQ activist, and her biography on Dartmouth's webpage reading, "I am interested in investigating how gender, sexuality, corporeality, okay, and power are represented and negotiated in pre-17th century Japanese narratives and illustrations." bro. Look, colleges will give anybody a job because like I need to just make up an expertise so I can get a sweet tenured gig in a university somewhere. Like just being honest, my first book, Tales of Idolized Boys, male/male love and medieval Japanese narratives, is a medieval Chigo monogatari which often depict romantic relationships between Buddhist priests and adolescent boys. Oh, so basically Catholicism, but Japanese flavored. Okay. These tales challenge a host of normative and moral standards we academics especially internalize, including such ideas as sexual orientation and transgenerational sex. Okay, so far I see a lot of gay, but they're not connecting the gay to Yauske so far. And I think the only reason that they're saying that Ubisoft confirmed them to be gay is because they hired this lady. But of course, just with a little bit of research, I just found out that, Sauchi Schmidt-Hori, the history consultant for Assassin's Creed Shadows, was hired late in 2022. Ubisoft had already chosen Yauske as one of their main protagonists. Before that, her job was to provide expertise on Yauske. Because of course, what I'm saying, you have to find a woke person from that culture in order to be able to tell you how to write a story for that culture, because you can't pick up a book or go to Wikipedia. So far, I don't really see any confirmation that Yauske is gay. Is there a possibility he's gay? Maybe, but so far, no confirmation, just yellow journalism. Okay, so why is this a big deal for Assassin's Creed? Why is this so strange? Why is this so crazy for an Assassin's Creed game? Well, I'll give it to you this way. Assassin's Creed has had, they've had Scandinavian games. They've had several Muslim Assassin's Creed games. They've had, British Assassin's Creed games. They had an Assassin's Creed game in America. They had Assassin's Creed game in France. They've had Assassin's Creed games in Greece. They even had one in Africa. Okay, and guess what? You want to know about all those characters? They all match the region that they happen to live in. But then when we get to the Assassin's Creed Japanese version, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is the main issue here. This is why it's so strange, because even though nobody looks to Assassin's Creed for historical accuracy, all right, you know what I'm saying? They're usually at least culturally connected with their characters. He was a real person in Japan, yes, but he's not a Japanese person. The thing that makes people so crazy about this, because say you look at an example of John Blackthorne being in Shogun, people were like, oh my gosh, John Blackthorne is a white savior, like, oh my gosh, they're trying to whitewash the history and all this other kind of stuff, when he was the main character of a show based around ancient Japan. But Yauske, being, a black man who is the main character of a video game based in Japan, and nobody's saying that they're trying to blackwash history or that he's a black savior or anything like that. They're actually saying oh, well, this is good, this is diverse and progressive. This is the thing that drives people crazy, is because double standards like this, this is the exact same thing, okay? All right, you have somebody from a different culture being the main part of a different person's story, and technically, we've been conditioned to believe that this is a bad thing. All right, so either it's a bad thing when you do this, or it's not a bad thing, and we could just make stories about whatever we want, like we used to for thousands of years. This is the issue here with this. This is why it's so weird that Assassin's Creed is doing this now, because they didn't really do this before, and it makes this whole thing kind of stand out even more. So, All right, we get to the big one now. Why is Yauske the main character for this game? Well, a lot of people will tell you he's the main character for the game because it would be interesting to have a narrative with a black samurai in it. And to be honest, that is actually a pretty good take. You know what I'm saying? That's actually pretty good. That's probably part of the reason why they did this. But there's another part to why they did this.
And I'm tired of seeing the same people who benefited from our fight for civil rights using those freedoms to pursue white validation.
And talk about the oppression, the real oppression that's happening in China and North Korea or Iran. And they say that, like, how do you know about oppression? Because you are a white passing person.
My ex-roommate, who was an ethnic person, told me that she didn't consider Asian people as POC, and the only reason she considered me POC is because I was Mexican.
So according to Twitter, apparently Asians are not people of color. And then this person said that Asians is more than just Chinese. A lot of Asian people have darker complexions, including South Asians. And they're like, yeah, those are the actual colored ones.
And by definition, white adjacent means not white. And we all know that one does not need to be white in order to be an agent of white supremacy.
So this is basically what it is. All right, white adjacency. So when you're dealing with, like, you know, SJWs or woke people or intersectionalists or whatever you want to call them, they have a hierarchy when it comes to, like, oppression or race or anything like that. Even though these people are Marxists and they don't believe in hierarchies, this one hierarchy takes precedent. All right, and it's the oppression Olympics. We all have heard about this, right? So at the top, there's straight white people. All right, you know, straight white men specifically. Under that is straight white women. Under that is gay white people, gay white men. Under that is gay white women. But do you know, after you get through all of those layers, you know what the very next layer is? Asian people. Yup, that's right. They consider, a lot of intersectionalists or like these woke types, they consider Asians to be white adjacent, specifically East Asians. All right, this is why a lot of times they're trying to do a lot more Southeast Asian stories, because they see that as more diverse, because they're not just regular Asians, because regular Asians are seen as white adjacent. All right, this is why Yauske is the main character here, because in order to make this truly a diverse story, they can't just have white adjacent people be all the main characters. All right, they can have one, but they can't have two, especially Asian men, because like the white pyramid, the Asian man is at the top of the Asian pyramid. All right, this is the main reason why they did it, and this is the reason why a lot of people in the culture war space are mad about it. And some of them are racist. I'll give it to you. Some of them are straight up racist. Like, I've seen so many monkey samurai drawings in the last week, it's insane. And don't even get me started on the George Floyd. Bro, it's funny, but it's also, like, amazingly racist. Like, good Lord. You know what I'm saying? But it's still funny, though. You know? But a lot of the people are mad because of this. And they see what they're doing. People see why they're doing this and what they're doing. But they don't really voice this opinion. And maybe they don't know how to voice it. But this is why they're doing it, though. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it because they need this to hit maximum diversity, and you can't do that by just having Japanese characters involved. This is why people think it's woke. All right, this is why people think that the game is woke. This is why people think that Yauske being the main character is a bad thing. It's not just because of racism. It's not just because they don't like black people. So, you know, now that I've answered all the questions I need to answer, let's get into the fun part of these videos. Let's hear from Twitter. Neo main protagonist is William Adam, an Irish sailor that becomes a samurai. Zero controversy there. I wonder why. You can't make this stuff up.
What's that name we what's that thing we call him? It's on the tip of my tongue. It begins with an
Should
N.
I? Give it to him.
You can't make this stuff up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you this. People, I hate this talking point here when people pull up like Neo and stuff like that, because it proves to me that you want to have a gotcha, but you don't actually want to think about that gotcha. All right, you don't actually want to like put in the brain work to come up with an actual gotcha, because see, there's always controversy when a white person is in one of these stories. All right. I just did a whole video about people calling John Blackthorne a white savior just because he happens to be in the show. All right. Whenever there's a white main character in these stories that are full of POCs, they always call them colonizers or white saviors or saying that they're whitewashing the history. So yes, there was controversy. It was just coming from people like you. That's what it was. All right. You know what I'm saying? So please stop with this low IQ, low hanging fruit argument. Is Yauske considered stolen valor in Japan as people try to make him out to be a samurai?
Thought about killing myself.
Grums, like, every time I try to have sympathy on Grums for something bad happening to him, like somebody doxes him or, you know, Twitter like shadow bans him or whatever, he says something annoying and it just makes me like, you know what?
You have to stop. Y'all keep talking. Huh? You keep talking, man.
Maybe this is their strategy. Add in a main character for a game that's really controversial, and that way it'll distract people from the fact that they're trying to get people to spend $130 for an effing. That's the real problem with the game. Optional purchase options. Better representation for Asian people in video games isn't going to be found in yet another samurai hero.
Too much.
Hey! Shut up, bitches!
Boy, IGN, I hate when people wish death on a company because I don't like seeing people lose their jobs. But when IGN goes down, bro, I think I might dance on the grave, man. I might dance right on their grave because, bro, the thing is, where was all this energy? You know what I'm saying? When Iron Fist came out. Remember Iron Fist, the Netflix show? When most of the reviews for that show were people being angry that the main character was white because how dare a white man do karate? And why isn't he not Asian? Why isn't an Asian man doing karate? Even though it's ironic since most Asian actors nowadays were typecast as karate people for years. You know what I'm saying? Where is that energy now? You know what I'm saying? Why is it now all of a sudden that you're not making an Asian person some sort of Asian martial artist? Now, oh, well, that's not proper Asian diversity. Yeah, shut up, IGN. Oh, of course, the next post, we go from a left-wing yellow journalist to right-wing yellow journalism. That Park Place says Ubisoft stock plummets 15% after Assassin's Creed Shadows trailer debut. And failing to meet forecasted sales figures. Oh, okay, so you actually mean that the stock dropped because they didn't hit their sales numbers and probably had nothing to do with the trailer. But you had to put this bit on here about the trailer because it fits into the narrative that you're trying to push about Ubisoft in the game.
You guys fucking suck.
Assassin's Creed Shadow doesn't have a Japanese protagonist. Racist game. Bro, she's literally right there. I mean, to be honest, the way she wrapped up like that, she could be Palestinian. Like, I don't even know. Like, oh, it's a tweet from CL. Okay. All right. I gotta get my incel ASMR on. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Hello, beta testers. Gay butt sex confirmed for Assassin's Creed Shadows. The production manager deleted a tweet, excited for you to see. Yasuke, romantic side. You know, vulnerable, like Xbox said when they were mad about curvy women with exaggerated bodies. Mandatory gay. Yauske Rainbow. Bro, yo, I love CL, man, but that man, bro, he comes up with that incel ASMR stuff is just crazy. I don't think it's particularly gay to have a soft side. I mean, chicks kind of dig sensual people sometimes. They dig emotion and sensuality. Ubisoft seems to be going again for the androgynous look, same as Valhalla for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So I mean, this chick just looks like 4K Mulan. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't see where she looks androgynous. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Assassin's Creed Shadows is a game set in Sakoku era Japan. Ubisoft have chosen the legendary samurai Yauske as the lead character of the franchise. I guess just screw Naoe. Like, she's right there. Like, the other guy pointed her out. Like, she's right there. Like, she's also a main character, you know. With Ubisoft's dedication to diversity, equity, and inclusion, let me explain why Yauske is an LGBTQ icon.
Oh, gay ass nigga, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, I ain't listening to you.
You know what? Forget Trump versus Biden. I'm voting for Meteor, bro. I'm voting for Meteor 2024, dog. All right, go ahead. Just end it all and leave this planet to the roaches. All right. Look, I'm just going to be honest. Anybody can be an LGBTQ icon. Y'all have claimed all types of characters. Back in the day, y'all tried to say that the daggone murder clown from It and the Babadook were LGBTQ icons, and y'all shipped them as dating each other. Freaking mythical, murderous monster demon things were LGBTQ icons. Anything can be an LGBTQ icon, bro. All you need to do is squint, tilt your head, and speedball enough cocaine to kill a horse, and anything can be an LGBTQ icon. Get out of here, man. Look, this video is long enough as it is. I'm just saying. Is it woke? Yes. Is Yauske a real person? Yes. Was he a samurai? Yes. Should you buy this game? It's up to you. Because to be honest, it looked like a banger. Do I agree with everything involved with this game? No. But if you like something, buy it. And that's it. That's it at the end of the day. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, people, have yourself a good one.